Let's move on to another of the very big stories this week. This is Mycoplasma bovis. A mid-Canterbury farmer will lose 55 years of breeding when his entire herd of 2,000 cattle go to slaughter after just one tested positive for M. bovis. Yesterday's announcement by the government to eradicate the disease over the next 10 years means Ashburton farmer Frank Peters will be forced to start all over again. Now, this comes as the Prime Minister and Agriculture Minister visited the Waimate farm today, offering ongoing support for farmers dealing with the disease and pledging to fast-track compensation payments. Zac Fleming and cameraman Nick Monroe were there.
On the ground, on a farm in Waimate this afternoon, the Prime Minister and Agricultural Minister selling their $886 million plan to eradicate Mycoplasma bovis.
Today, we're here again together, members of the industry, visiting those farmers who have been directly affected by M. bovis to talk through the experiences that they've had, where we can improve, how we can make sure that we give that certainty to those who are directly affected. And that's a big focus for MPI going forward.
Agriculture Minister Damien O'Connor not ruling out a ban on waste milk and promising 50 more MPI field staff.
We've got more people in the compensation team, really essential. We need more people on the ground that are working directly with the infected properties. We'll have more people in terms of administrative roles to ensure that the process works smoothly. We're then going to be coordinating industry people. So there's a need for an increasing resource across the board. MPI will be one part of that, but industry organisations, Rural Support Trust, Rural Women, they'll be a big part of it as well.
Farmer Leo Benzaguez welcomed the Prime Minister and shared his now positive outlook after his cows were found to be infected with M. bovis in August last year.
All the cows got killed and we started the cleanup. So we actually start to see the light after the channel. We got all our cows back. We got the money from MPI, so we pretty happy.
But 2 hours north of Waimate, mid-Canterbury dairy farmer Frank Peters isn't feeling so happy. He tells me he barely slept last night. Yesterday's announcement's already taking its toll.
Every day the thing is another decision to make, and it's another part that destroys us. Sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, just too much this morning, too much.
As the reality sets in, Frank is emotional.
I know now everything has to go. We're still waiting on tests. We await decisions. We await people to make their minds up of what they wanted to do. And we carry on making decisions every time we want to do something and see how we go. And it just turns around and goes backwards again. So.
When you say everything has to go, how many cows are we talking here?
Well, I've already got rid of 720 plus 280 calves. I've got another 500 cows that are winter milkers, which we're still milking, and we're supposedly things can carry on milking them, but they'll have to go. And then we have a runoff where our rising 2s and rising 1s are, so there's another bit over 200 each, so there's another about 450 odd. So yeah, probably we've got rid of 1,000 and there's close to 1,000 to go yet. So.
And have any of these cows showed any symptoms?
Not one. Nothing. Not one. We've still got we've still got the cow that they tested as having bovis. The thing's still in their winter milkers, so she's still there. So they haven't asked her to be killed or anything, so she's still there.
Over the past few months, Frank's farm has undergone extensive testing, including 2 rounds of blood tests and 1 milk test of his almost 2,000 strong herd. Just 1 tested positive for bovis, and because of that, the entire herd must be culled. Frank says the infected cow came from a farm in mid-Canterbury in April 2014, around the same time he purchased 87 cows from Alphonse Zeestraten in Winton. Do you have any theory as to whether she got Mycoplasma bovis from the other Canterbury farm you bought her from, or whether she contracted that from a Zeestraten cow that you bought alongside her?
Your guess is as good as mine. At the moment, the thing is, if you actually turn around and say the pathways from Southern Dairies, the Zeestraten farm, you would say so, but I'm not sure. The thing is they say Zeestraten's a trace thing from the end of 15. That doesn't make sense for us. So did it come from this other herd in mid-Canterbury? Well, I don't know. The thing is the place hasn't been tested where they come from, so where she came from. And also, it just doesn't fit in with all the pathways they're talking. So
So you don't know, MPA doesn't know, but that farm that she came from still hasn't been tested to this day?
That's right, it hasn't been tested, no. I've made it quite clear, I think the thing is it is from Sea Stratton, because that's the only place I feel the information I've been given is that. We had a trace vet at our place and he said the thing is he thought that was the place it came from. We've also had MPI asking the thing is why we think it comes from there. Well, where else can it come from? And they haven't come and said to me the thing is it's anywhere else.
Do you think that it can be eradicated given no one really knows 100% where or when it came from?
Yes, exactly. Well, at this moment in time, there's still, 6 or 7 pathways that it could have come in. Have they blocked the hole?
The government's phased eradication at a cost of $886 million will see the cull of over 150,000 cattle, including the rest of Frank's herd, who will go to the works at the end of winter milking. You're facing a cumulative cull of around about 2,000 cows. Are you confident that you'll get the accurate compensation for what those cows are worth?
I hope so. But what is like for like? Like the thing is I've got 55 years of breeding. The thing is that I can't go and buy a herd like that tomorrow. Replacing all those animals, the thing is that you can't go and, but the thing is, find 2,000 cows or 2,000 animals out on the next door neighbour's farm. It's a cumulative place of gathering them all over the place. So the thing is to be able to bring them in, and that scares me again because I could quite easily bring bovis back.
Frank says rural support has been working with farmers to help them through what is a challenging time.
And at the end of the day, the thing is I'm probably a little bit better than I was probably a fortnight ago. The thing is, yesterday, I suppose if you look at the announcement, the thing is we were stuffed anyway. So the thing is we were over. So.
Are you going to keep farming, Frank?
Yep. No, still a passion. Still there. Doesn't go away. That never goes away.
Frank has a message for the Prime Minister and her entourage.
Come and talk to some of these people, on a personal basis, rather than other things turning around and just sort of in a media scenario. So it needs to be talked to, the things. And realistically, Mid-Canterbury is the hub of where it is at the moment. It seems to be the biggest part of where most of the stock are that are actually under notice or are infected at the moment. So, come and see us anytime.
The Prime Minister says the disease is on at least 37 farms, but the government expects 192 properties will be impacted in the final cull.
We are talking about less than 1% of farms being affected, so being in that category of having to bring in or buy new stock relative to the 99% who won't. The key here is acknowledging for those farmers affected it is huge, but actually there's a large proportion that won't be, and we want to protect that national herd.
In Waimate for Checkpoint, Zac Fleming.